flying cobra?
Maybe.
That one's...
We'll see.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Effort&Ease yoga that you can take anywhere and practice at any time. Today we're going to teach you how to do Cobra Pose. Bhujangasana in the Sanskrit, and there are different variations, and we're going to go through a few of them, from the baby cobra, which even though we call it a baby cobra is not easy. It's straightforward, but it's not easy, all the way up to king cobra and flying cobra. So all different kinds that you can incorporate into your practice and execute with a little bit more confidence.
And they're backbends.
And they're backbends.
Which we love.
We do.
So we're excited to start giving you guys some backbend how-tos because backbends are challenging.
They're challenging, but they're a really important counter to our habits of daily living where we spend so much of our life in forward flexion. Backbends allow us to extend the spine and open our heart, our throat, our whole front body. Let's get started.
Let's do it.
For Cobra Pose, we're going to come down onto our bellies, and you don't need any equipment for this one, no blocks, anything. Just come right on down. So forward fold, walk your hands forward, lower to your knees, and come down to your belly. So for the first cobra that we're practicing, I'm calling it a baby cobra, but it is really simply known as Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana, again in the Sanskrit. You're going to keep your ankles, your inner thighs, your legs squeezing together. So it's like one cobra's tail, quite literally like a snake. This is something I often see when practicing in real life with people, that they'll think their ankle bones are squeezing, but they're kind of out here neutrally to the side. You really need to bring the legs together. This is going to limit the extension in your hip. So you won't be able to use your hip to bend your spine. It's going to come from the back alone. Next, you're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders so that your fingertips line up with the tips of your deltoids. And you can check that action by dipping your shoulders down to the mat and making sure they're in line. So you can see as I dipped mine down, my fingertips need to come back just a hair. And you want to be really rigorous about this as well, because by bringing the hands underneath the shoulders like this, we're also limiting the leverage in our arms so that we won't be able to push ourselves up into Cobra. Instead, we're going to have to engage the back body and kind of pull ourselves into Cobra, which we're going to do in a moment. So hands underneath the shoulders, thumbs are kind of in line with your chest. Keep your elbows bent. So the elbows stay super bent, and the triceps are hugging into the rib cage. So your arms are with your side body. They're not bent out to the side at all. They're hugging in tight. So think shoulders forward, elbows back, hands underneath the shoulders, and now those legs that are touching each other, they start to squeeze. As you engage the legs, you'll feel your kneecaps lift off the mat. That's an effect of the quadricep becoming concentric, contracting, and bring your forehead down. Exhale to prepare, and on the inhale, lift just your chin, your chest, and your rib cage off the mat. So keep your legs squeezing together, keep the elbows bent and pulling back toward the hip bones, draw the belly in, and think about pulling the chest through the arms. So you're not pushing with your hands, there's not a lot of weight in the palms. Instead, you're extending the spine by squeezing the back muscles, pulling the arms isometrically back. So they're not actually moving, but it's the sensation of bringing your heart through the arms. Keeping the lower belly grounded. Stay here. And then exhale, lengthen as you lower. Bringing the belly, the chest, the chin, the forehead back down to the mat. Now, for the second variation of Cobra, a lifted Cobra, or also just called simply Cobra, you'll open your legs to hip socket width distance. Now you'll take the hands and glide them back about a handprint so that they're alongside your middle ribs. These two actions, opening the legs to hip socket width distance and bringing the hands back alongside the rib cage, means you're going to get more range of motion, more lift in this Cobra. Still, we want to think about the elbows staying soft and the triceps hugging into the rib cage. Bring your forehead down, exhale to prepare, and on the inhale, lift, chin, chest, rib cage, maybe even belly button off the mat. So keep the elbows soft. If you were to extend the elbows and lock the joints out, you see how the shoulders lift up by the ears? We don't want to lean on our joints to extend the spine. Instead, we want to engage the back muscles. So the elbows are staying soft. There's not super much weight in the palms, but they are indeed pushing down into the ground as we squeeze the back muscles to open the front body. The hips are staying down too. So sometimes when you're just beginning to practice, you'll be tempted to lift the hips off the mat to get more range of motion. But keep the hips grounded. Even if that means your cobra is a little lower, that's okay. You're moving into greater range of motion over time. Squeeze the elbows in, broaden through the collarbone, and push your toes down. Good, and then lengthen, come all the way back down. For this next variation of Cobra, we're moving into something a little bit more challenging. That is, we're going to bend the knees and squeeze the toes to the head. So other than that action, the Cobra is going to look the same. So exhale first to prepare, and on the inhale, lift chin, chest, rib cage, belly button off the mat. Now the elbows continue to stay soft. The legs are still hip socket width distance apart. I didn't talk about it on the first Cobra, or the second actually, but we want to keep the glutes relatively passive here up until this point. So if we engage the glutes, it's going to end up sending your hips forward and down. Instead, by keeping them soft, we're allowing the spine to lift back and up. At this point though, when we start to engage King Cobra, you are going to have to activate your glute muscles as well as your hamstrings. So bend the knees, bring the toes together, and think about squeezing the hamstrings and the butt as you let your head fall back to reach your toes in the direction of your head. And then release. Good, we're going to stay here, Sarah. And this next one, we're going to show you the option of bringing one hand and then the other to your knees. So bend the knees, toes to head, and then maybe reach back with one hand and then the other, holding on to your knees with your hands, toes towards your head. And then lengthen the legs and lower with control. Good. So that's a strenuous back bend. I'm going to give us both a moment to decompress. Things should be counter. You can at any point when you're practicing these poses, take a little child's pose, pressing your hips back to your heels. That's just taking the spine in the opposite direction. So if at any point you need that, do it. And then we're going to shift back forward. This next pose, just to really clarify, is not technically a Cobra. It's a bow variation, but it's going to help us work the eccentric variation of flying Cobra. Bend your knees, keep your legs hip socket width distance. Bring one hand to one ankle, the other hand to the other ankle. Now, as you kick your legs back, which we're not doing yet, you're going to think about flexing the feet and pushing the toes back behind you so that you lift up onto your quads. Forehead down, exhale to prepare, inhale, kick. You might have to take a couple tries, and that's okay. She's got it. Push your heels back. Good. There we are. Now, working the eccentric, you're going to let go of your feet and keep your upper body lifted. And then lower with control. Good.
I cheated.
How'd you cheat?
Oh my God.
That's okay. I'll accept a cheat.
Just one.
The next little assist for your flying Cobra requires either a partner or a heavy piece of furniture. So you can tuck your toes underneath your sofa if you're at home, or something else if you have a bookshelf or something. Or Sarah's going to hold on to my ankles and push them down. And on the inhale, I'm going to continue to push my toes down and lift my body up. And then lower with control. Thank you. So having something to push your feet down will help give you that feeling of freedom to lift the torso. We're going to try it now without an assist. And at this point in the practice, I still have to use momentum to get myself up. There is some point at which you will no longer need momentum and you can do it with a lot more control. So arms out to the side.
Exhale to prepare. Inhale, press through the toes. Imagine somebody's pushing you down. Lift your upper body up.
Fly your cobra for 3, 2, 1. Press your hips back to your heels. We'll take that counter now. And that is our Cobra how-to. Give it a try.
Let us know what you think. Let us know if you enjoy Cobra or if this is your first Cobra. And
That's right. And if you have any other questions, if there's some part of this that needs further clarification, we'd love to clarify.
Good.
Namaste.
Subscribe.
And like. I forgot. And comment.
Yeah. And stick around because we have lots of many things to give to you and we can't wait to do that. See you around.
Pose and its variations, so lower to your... Woo! I think I'm going to go a more traditional way down. Can we go? That was me trying to make that pretty. Okay. I was envisioning this very beautiful accordion. And that's why I laugh when people say you're so graceful. I'm like, nope.